Well, look, first of all, I agree completely with Bernie about what the fundamental challenge we're facing as a country is. 40 years of no economic growth for 90% of the American people. 160,000 families in the top 0.1% have the same.
We are live. Is anyone watching? Is this live? We're watching the Dem debates tonight, and you're gonna watch it with me. And I am gonna leave it on. I'm gonna leave us on. I'm watching on MSNBC. Hello, everyone. So, would you want me to leave it on, to leave on the audio for you, out loud? Oh man. So I got a lot of negative feedback from last night. Was it really that bad? Our live stream last night was like we were talking about polygamy. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this on. If it gets annoying, let me know, guys, because I'm gonna leave on the audio.
I wrote the part in Senator Sanders' bill that is the transition, which merges what the two senators said. Because the truth is, if you have a buy-in over a 4 or 5 year period, you move us to single payer more quickly.
Senator, we will get to this. We will get to this. Before we do, I want to say hello and good evening, buenas noches to Mayor Buttigieg.
Buenas noches, gracias de invitarnos.
Gusto en verlo, caballero. Many of your colleagues on stage support free college. You do not. Why not?
Sure. So college affordability is personal for us. Chasten and I have 6-figure student debt. I believe in reducing student debt. It's logical to me that if you can refinance your house, you ought to be able to refinance your student debt. I also believe in free college for low and middle income students for whom cost could be a barrier. I just don't believe it makes sense to ask working class families to subsidize even the children of billionaires. I think the children of the...
So first of all, before we begin, I think it's pretty cool that Andrew Yang is on this stage. We've got Andrew Yang, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, who else? Kristen Gillibrand, and Kamala Harris. So we've got a whole bunch of... and so I think tonight's is going to be really interesting because it's such a wide range of candidates, like different types. And I think it's also interesting that we've got John Hickenlooper here on the same stage as Bernie Sanders. And I don't even know why Eric Swalwell is still here, but he looks like he's about to have a stroke. Someone is asking if Joe Biden shot his face full of Botox before the debate. I don't know, man. Maybe he did. Looks like Eric Swalwell did. Ooh, Andrew Yang is up.
I think that's like $3.2 trillion a year. How would you do that? Sorry? How would you do that?
Oh, so it's difficult to do.
He's asking about his
companies
UBI.
like Amazon, trillion-dollar tech companies paying literally zero in taxes while they're closing 30% of our stores. Now, we need to put the American people in position to benefit from all of these innovations in other parts of the economy. And if we had a value-added tax at even half the European level, it would generate over $800 billion in new revenue, which combined with the money in our hands, it would be the trickle-up economy from our people, families, and communities up. We would spend the money and it would circulate through our regional economies and neighborhoods, creating millions of jobs, making our families stronger and healthier.
Woo!
We'd save money on things like incarceration, homelessness services, emergency room health care, and just the value gains from having a stronger, healthier, mentally healthier population would increase GDP by $700 billion. This is the move that we have to make, particularly as technology is now automating away millions of American jobs. It's why Donald Trump is our president today, that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And we're about to do the same thing to millions of retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs, truck driving jobs, and on through the economy.
But a value-added tax, so you can spend that $1,000 on value-added tax?
Well, the value-added tax would end up, you'd still be increasing the buying power of the bottom 94% of Americans. You have to spend a lot of money for a mild value-add tax to eat up $12,000 a year per individual. So for the average family with 2 or 3 adults, it'd be $24,000 to $36,000 a year.
Okay, Congressman Swalwell, I want to talk a little bit about what Mr. Yang is talking about, and you just actually mentioned it. Many Americans are worried that things like self-driving cars, robots, drones, artificial intelligence will cost them their jobs.
Can I just say something? Like, nobody likes Andrew Yang because they like his UBI stuff. No one actually cares about that stuff. People like Andrew Yang because he's different. Oh, thank you for saying happy birthday. Paul Nye is wishing me happy birthday. It is my birthday, by the way, everybody. And, oh, man. Shoot. It is my birthday, and, I'm really glad to be spending my birthday with you guys. And I'm not saying that in jest. I'm really serious. And so, Andrew Yang, I think people just like him because he's different. He's like, he doesn't really care about the stupid politics of shit. He doesn't care about, like, the bipartisan stuff. He's not bought by politics, and that is very attractive quality. I think a lot of people like that. Hello, Steph! Thank you for the birthday wishes. And so I like Andrew Yang. I think a lot of people like him for that reason. Anytime a candidate becomes mainstream, people, especially right now, get turned off. I think it does look a little bit like Joe Biden is having... It does look a little bit like he has Botox, right? That's like a really good... Thanks for pointing that out, whoever did. A lot of Tulsi Gabbard fans. Honestly, like in the beginning when back in February when we got like the whole lineup of candidates, I immediately said Pete Buttigieg, like there was a list of candidates, right? And I think it was Real Clear Politics put Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders at the top, and they put Pete Buttigieg and Andrew Yang all the way at the bottom. Like they were like the bottom two from all the candidates. My thing was that these two people are going to go to the top. Pete Buttigieg is doing so well. Andrew Yang is and people were like, oh, well, nobody even knows who they are. Why would they go to the top? They're doing pretty well. I mean, Andrew Yang, like, nobody even knew who he was not long ago, and now suddenly he's, you know, big shot. He follows me on Twitter. I feel like I'm really glad I got on that train.
Let's please, Senator Sanders, and I'll let you.
Generational. The issue is who has the guts to take on Wall Street, to take on the fossil
guys,
fuel industry.
If this audio is distracting, I can put an earphone, so you can listen to it separately on a separate screen.
Senator Harris, I don't feel sorry. We will let all of you speak. Senator Harris. Senator Harris. Please, we will let you all speak. Senator Harris.
Hey guys, you know what? America does not want to witness a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their table.
Ding ding, 1 point for Kamala Harris. She looks like the adult in the room.
On that point, part of the issue that is at play in America today, and we've all been traveling around the country.
All right, so turn it down.
Meeting people who are working 2 and 3 jobs. You know, this president walks around talking about and flouting his great economy, right? My great economy, my great economy. You ask him, well, how are you measuring this greatness of this economy of yours? And he talks about the stock market. Well, that's fine if you own stocks. So many families in America do not. You ask them, how are you measuring the greatness of this economy of yours? And they point to the jobless numbers and the unemployment numbers. Well, yeah, people in America are working. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. So when we talk about jobs, let's be really clear. In our America, no one should have to work more than 1 job to have a roof over their head and food on their table.
Thank you very much.
That's a pretty appealing statement. I'm not gonna lie.
Healthcare. So let's talk about healthcare, and this is going to be a show of hands question. We asked a question about healthcare last night that spurred a lot of discussion, as you know. We're going to do it again now. Many people watching at home have health insurance at their employer.
By the way, guys, I said I wasn't going to talk about politics, and it still makes me uneasy to talk about politics because of two reasons. First of all, I really don't know a lot, and it makes me uncomfortable to talk about things that I don't know a lot about, and I feel dumb. The other thing is that I just feel like what I do know, everything I say is just quickly bunched up with like one political party, and I'm not able to look at things objectively because everything just gets so sucked up on like a one-sidedness. Everyone gets mad at everything, and no matter what, it's like there's always one side of a political aisle that gets mad at you for something, and you're just like, I don't care. I don't care about your stupid party politics. I'm not like, I'm not owned by one side, and like I don't care. I'm just this random person who's like trying to understand things and asking a few questions, and like you guys are just making it all about party politics. And so it's stupid. It just makes me not want to be part of it. But it's still cool. Like it's still exciting to be part of it. Like it's still exciting to watch it. I mean, and be able to comment on it from just a little side, from my little side section here, my little tiny studio. All right. Pro 2A and Pro Yang.
To explain how your
Pro
election
Yang
is supposed to
Yang's
get
Wang.
to there. Here's how I would do it. It's very similar.
Pete Buttigieg.
Medicare for all who want it. You take something like Medicare, a flavor of that, you make it available on the exchanges, people can buy in, and then if people like us are right, that will be not only a more inclusive plan, but a more efficient plan than any of the corporate answers out there, then it will be a very natural glide path to the single-payer environment. But let's remember, even in countries that have outright socialized medicine, like England, even there's still a private sector. That's fine. It's just that for our primary care, we can't be relying on the tender mercies of the corporate system. This one's very personal for me. I started out this year dealing with the terminal illness of my father. I make decisions for a living, and nothing could have prepared me for the kind of decisions our family faced. But the thing we had going for
I really liked Buttigieg when he started, but I just felt like over time, I felt like he started to like resemble a lot of the other establishment candidates, and I kind of didn't like it. Establishment leftist candidates. Like his smears and his accusations, the way he did it. I don't know.
My two boys were really very badly injured. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like had I not had adequate health care available immediately.
Biden went
And then
through
my
some
son
pretty
came home from Iraq
big
after a year.
tragedies.
He was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he was given months to live. I can't fathom what would have happened if, in fact, they said, by the way, the last 6 months of your life, you're on your own. We're cutting off. You've used up your time. The fact of the matter is that the quickest, fastest way to do it is build on Obamacare, to build on what we did. And secondly, to make sure that everyone does have an option. Everyone, whether they have private insurance, employer insurance, or no insurance, they, in fact, can buy in the exchange to a Medicare-like plan. And the way to do that, we can do it quickly. Look, urgency matters. There's people right now facing what I faced and what we faced without any of the help I had. We must move now. I'm against any Democrat who opposes, that takes down Obamacare, and any Republican who wants to get rid of it.
Let me turn to Senator Sanders. Senator Sanders, you basically want to scrap the private health insurance system as we know it and replace it with a government-run plan. None of the states that have tried something like that, California, Vermont, New York, has struggled with it, have been successful. If politicians can't make it work in those states, how would you implement it on a national level? How does this work?
Listen, I find it hard to believe that every other major country on earth, including my neighbor 50 miles north of me, Canada, somehow has figured out a way to provide health care to every man, woman, and child, and in most cases, they're spending 50% per capita what we are spending. Let's be clear. Let us be very clear. The function of health care today, from the insurance and drug company perspective, is not to provide quality care to all in a cost-effective way. The function of the healthcare system today is to make billions in profits for the insurance companies.
This is really
and last year, if you could believe it, while we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. And I will lower.
What do you guys think? Do you think Bernie has like a chance? Do you think he's gonna stand out in this debate? I think he seems pretty fired up and very prepared.
How do you implement it on a national level? How do you implement it on a national level, given the fact it's not succeeded in other states have tried?
I will tell you how we'll do it. We'll do it the way real change has always taken place, whether it was the labor movement, the civil rights movement, or the women's movement. We will have Medicare for all, where tens of millions of people are prepared to stand up and tell the insurance companies and the drug companies that their day is gone, that healthcare is a human right, not something to make huge profits off.
All right, Ms. Williamson. Ms. Williamson, this is a question for you. Excuse me, I'm addressing the question, Ms. Williamson. We've been talking a lot about...
Who the heck is Williamson? I've never even seen this person. She's like an author that nobody's ever heard of. They're asking her about healthcare. I've never even seen this woman in my life.
The big pharma that they couldn't negotiate. That was just part of the regular corruption by which multinational corporations have their way with us. You know, I want to say that while I agree with, I'm with Senator Bennett and others, but I agree with almost everything here. I'll tell you one thing. It's really nice if we got all these plans, but if you think we're
who the heck is this lady? Why don't they kick her off stage?
You got another thing coming. Because he didn't win by saying he had a plan. He won by simply saying, make America great again. We've got to get deeper than just these superficial fixes, as important as they are. Even if we're just talking about the superficial fixes, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a health care system in the United States. We have a sickness care system in the United States. We just wait till somebody gets sick, and then we talk about who's going to pay for the treatment and how they're going to be treated. What we need to talk about is why so many Americans have unnecessary chronic illnesses, so many more compared to other countries. And that gets back into not just the big pharma, not just health insurance companies. It has to do with chemical policies. It has to do with environmental policies.
Oh, what the heck is this lady talking about? What a weirdo. This lady, this like random, okay, what's her name? Karen Williamson? This lady, she's like an author. She's sitting on a stage as if she's like a legitimate person, a legitimate human being, and they ask her about, first of all, I never even heard of this lady. Karen Williamson? Who the heck is that? Marianne Williamson? They bring her up on the stage and they ask her about healthcare. Like this group of people who are legitimately running for about sick person care and oh my god. And basically like, oh, we shouldn't be thinking about how to fix the healthcare system. We should be thinking about how to not make people sick so that they will need focus on the issue, and the issue is healthcare. And why are you just she just seems like she should be kicked off the stage right now. I don't even think Biden knows who she is.
Everything else is banned.
Bennett, Colorado Senator.
Let's go a little longer there, but obviously, Senator Sanders, you get a response. Senator Sanders,
just briefly. You know, Mike, Medicare is...
Kamala's trying to be like the adult in this situation. It's kind of annoying, actually.
People don't like their private insurance companies. They like their doctors and hospitals. Under our plan, people go to any doctor they want, any hospital they want. We will substantially lower the cost of healthcare in this country because we'll stop the...
Didn't go to med school, guys. Like, this is why I dropped the whole thing, even after I was like, did my applications and everything. Like, I started doing my application. Oh my god.
911, what should I do? And they say, take the child to the emergency room. And so they get in their car and they drive and they're sitting in the parking lot outside while they have the hand on the forehead of their child, knowing that if they walk through those sliding glass doors, even though they have insurance, they will be out a $5,000 deductible when they walk through those doors. That's what insurance companies are doing in America today.
We're going to continue this discussion. I wanted to put it in candidates, please. Candidates, please.
I'm one of those parents. I was just in the emergency room, and I'm telling
Congressman, thank you.
we fight health insurance companies every single week. We stand in line and pay expensive prescription drugs. We have to have a health care guarantee. If you're sick, you're seen, and in America, you never go broke because of
in one form or another. This is a show of hands question, and hold them up for a moment so people can see. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
They all raise their hand.
Why?
Nobody wants to be left out.
Why?
Because our country is healthier when everybody is healthier. And remember, we're talking about something people are given a chance to buy into. In the same way that there are undocumented
When everybody in the
immigrants
world
in
is
my
healthier,
community
right?
Who pay. They pay sales taxes. They pay property taxes.
Do you hear what he's saying? He's like, our country will be healthier when everybody's healthier. They're talking about like undocumented immigrants, so what they're saying is that everybody in the world should have health care paid by the U.S. taxpayer. That's basically what they're saying, and every single one of these Democratic debates raise their hand in support.
The American people agree on what to do. This is the crazy thing. If leadership consists of forming a consensus around a divisive issue, this White House just divided us around a consensus issue. The American people want a pathway to citizenship. They want protections for dreamers. We need to clean up the lawful immigration system, like how my father immigrated to this country. And as part of a compromise, we can do whatever common sense measures are needed at the border. But Washington can't deliver on something the American people want. What does that tell you about the system we're living in? It tells you it needs
Mayor,
profound structural reform.
Vice President Biden, I believe you said that your health care plan would not cover undocumented immigrants. Could you explain your position?
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon.
I believe at the show of hands you did not raise your hand. Did you raise your hand?
No, I did.
Okay, sorry. So you said they would be covered under your...
Biden's face is like, it like doesn't move because of his Botox, so they're like, yeah, it looks like you weren't, and he's like, yeah, I was. They can't tell like what kind of expression he's trying to make. Kind of funny, actually.
It's a humane thing.
He's trying to look concerned, but he can't because his face is like pulled up.
He's right about three things. Number one, they in fact contribute to the well-being of the country, but they also, for example, they've increased the lifespan of Social Security because they have a job, they're paying a Social Security tax. That's what they're doing. It's increased the lifespan. They would do the same thing in terms of reducing the overall cost of health care by them being able to be treated and not wait till they're in extremis. The other thing is, folks, look, we can deal with these insurance companies. We can deal with the insurance companies by, number one, putting insurance executives in jail for the misleading advertising, what they're doing on opioids, what they're doing paying doctors to prescribe. We could be doing this by making sure everyone who is on Medicare, that the government should be able to negotiate the price for whatever the drug costs are. We can do this by making sure that we're in a position that we in fact allow people.
I just want to address
Actually, hold off a minute. We need to take a short break here. We got a lot more we need to talk to all of you about, so stick with us. We're just getting started. We'll be back with more from Miami right after this.
Right after this brief commercial. Okay, so I kind of started off a little awkward because we started in the middle of the debate because I was late as always. But a few thoughts. One thought, I don't think I'm going to continue watching the whole debate. Like, we'll watch a little bit of it, but it's pretty interesting. I'm just like, it's like another 2 hours, and I can't. I really can't. I literally just woke up from a nap. But, yeah, a few thoughts. It's a little bit cringy that, with the undocumented immigrants thing, I think that's crazy. Free healthcare for undocumented immigrants. I mean, good luck trying to get free healthcare for regular citizens. Forget undocumented immigrants. And so I think that's a little bit ambitious. And the fact that every single candidate raised their hand in support, that was kind of, it didn't make sense to me. But also I think Andrew Yang might have some sort of chance. Anyway, yeah, last night, I didn't watch last night, but it seems like I didn't miss anything because, and also Tulsi Gabbard seems to have been doing well, so that's like all I needed to know. But anyway, first of all, forgetting the debate for a second, it's my birthday today. I just woke up from a nap, and it was kind of a crazy day, mostly because I was answering my phone most of the day. I mean, the time that I wasn't working, and it was kind of frustrating because I love the birthday wishes. I loved on Twitter, I love on social media, I love emails. One of you sent me an email. It was Paul Nye. Oh yeah, thank you. I got your email, and it was really great to see that. And I love communicating with you guys online and everything. But, not you guys, but the people who contact me on my phone, people in my, that I talk to in person, it's very different because I'm expected to, like, answer back right away. And it's the most frustrating thing ever when I've got, like, 1 million people calling me on my phone and expecting me to call back right away. And today was just disaster. Today was just like multiple people messaging me like, hey, why didn't you answer my call? Are you mad at me? Why do you hate me? I've been such a good friend to you. I've been such a good family member, or this or that. I mean, my immediate family is different, but I've been such a good relative or friend or whatever to you, and you can't just have the decency to pick up your phone or call me back or text me. The least you could have done is text me. And it's just like, literally, these people this is literally why I went and took a nap, because these people are sucking the soul out of me. Like, the people that I have to pick up a phone on every single time they call, it's like, you know what? If I wanted to sit and respond to every single text message and every single phone call. Oh, and by the way, like, you can't tell them that, like, you get too many calls, because then they'll get mad at you and they'll be like, oh, well, you're being you're being so arrogant. Are you saying that you're so popular that everybody wants to talk to you? Is that what you're saying? Go, you little arrogant, whatever. And it's like, you can't win with these people, because, like, everything you say is wrong. And especially if you give, like, a real explanation, like, they'll hate it. And the real explanation, like, if you call me and I didn't pick up, the real explanation is, like, I don't hate you, and I don't hate you. People assume that if you didn't text them back right away, like, if you didn't call them back right away. And that's what I love about social media. That's what I love about these live streams and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. Is like, you're not expected to answer back, but if you do, people love it. So it's like, there's no expectation, but if you do, it's like, people are like, wow, it's great that she responded. And it's like, that's what I like. I like that, because I don't want to be responding to 1 million people, and people are like, well, if you were my friend, you would have answered my call. And it's like, calling to chat every day for an hour, and it's like, I don't have time to call and chat every single person in my phone book for an hour. And if you look at my phone, I'm not exaggerating, I have around 900 unread text messages. By the way, I was sifting through them recently, just going back and responding to each one, and it's like, I I don't owe my life. This is my life that I could be spending making money, reading a book, doing something important with my life, and I'm sitting here responding to people's phone calls and text messages, and it just feels like a waste of time, and it's like people don't realize how much life this is sucking out of me. Farty is asking 900, yes, 900. And I'm not saying this to be like, ooh, I'm popular. It's like, I'm saying this to be like, literally people who are so, it is really selfish, really. If you expect me to, like, it's like you can't win with the kind of people who are like, just assume that you're mad at them and like, you know, well, we're busy too, we have important lives too. And it's like, I'm not sitting there and being like, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? Like, I understand that you're a busy person and I'm not expecting you to call me, so why are you expecting me to call you? And you know, like, it's just so frustrating. And it's my birthday today, and I've been getting so many calls and stuff, and it's like, wow, yay, thank you for calling me. You know what? Don't call me, because if you're my friend and you care about me, like, you would let me get to my day and get a few things done. And thankfully, you know, and it's not like don't call me, but it's like don't call me and then get mad if like I don't answer you right away, or pick up the phone or call you back right away. That's like really, and it's like anytime I talk about this shit, like I can't, because people get so mad. And then there's also people online who like take it personally, and it's like, dude, I'm not even talking about you, I'm talking to people in my personal life. But it's just, it's really annoying, and I would rather not have any of these people in my life at all. Like, I would rather, like, all the people who expect me to call them back right now, like, I would rather just, you know, are you dying? Like, do you need, is your child dying? Like, I will come and help you. If not, I'm not gonna call you back so we can chat about life. Like, you know, I'm not calling my grandma. I haven't called my grandma in ages. Why should I call some people just to chat? I'm not doing that. And, anyway, it's... Alright, let's go back to the Dem debates. I'm just in such a crappy mood today, so just bear with me. I'll be a little bit all over the place. Pete Booty is talking.
Much. Largely for a very good reason, which was we are committed to the separation of church and state, and we stand for people of any religion and people of no religion. But we should call out hypocrisy when we see it. And for a party that associates itself with Christianity, to say that it is okay to suggest that God would smile on the division of families at the hands of federal agents, that God would condone putting children in cages, has lost all claim to ever use religious language again.
Vice President, Mr. Vice President, I don't know if you raised your hand or were just asking to speak. Would you decriminalize crossing the border without documents?
They can't tell. They can't tell what what Biden wants, because like his facial expression is the same the entire time, so they can't tell like what he's trying to say, because he's just like this the whole time, and everything he's saying is just like staying in the same expression. And they're like, so Vice President, Mr. Vice President, you wanted to talk? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, you didn't want to talk? And he's like, yeah. And it's like the same exact.
Along came this president, he said he immediately discontinued that. We all talk about these things. I did it. I did it. 740 now. Second thing we have to do. The law now requires the reuniting of those families. We would reunite those families, period. And if not, we put those children in a circumstance where they were safe until we could find their parents. And lastly, the idea that he's in court with his Justice Department saying children in cages do not need a bed, do not need a blanket, do not need a toothbrush. That is outrageous.
Vice President, the Obama-Biden administration deported more than 3 million Americans. My question to you is, if an individual is living in the United States of America without documents, and that is his only offense, should that person be deported?
No. Depending if they committed a major crime, they should be deported. And the president was left in his, President Obama, I think, did a heck of a job. To compare him to what this guy's doing is absolutely, I find, close to immoral. But the fact is that, look, we should not be locking people up. We should be making sure we change the circumstance, as we did, why they would leave in the first place. And those who come seeking asylum, we should immediately have the capacity to absorb them, keep them safe until they can be heard.
A 15-second, if you could, if you wish to answer. Should someone who is here without documents, and that is his only offense, should that person be deported?
That person should not be the focus of deportation. We should fundamentally change the way we deal with them.
Senator,
I want to suggest that I agree with a lot of what Kamala just said. And that is, on day one, we take out our executive order pen and we rescind every damn thing on this issue that Trump has done. Number two, picking up on the point that you're making, we got to look at the root causes.
I don't get it, like, that Trump has done. Obama's administration was a lot, actually, in my opinion, the Obama administration was a lot more hardcore on immigration. And people just act like, you know, this is all like a total theatrics, because the Obama administration was tougher, and in fact, they were tougher than Trump. Trump is really just all talk, in my view. Trump is, when it comes to immigration, Trump is all talk. And they're speaking like stricter or whatever. The Obama administration was a lot tougher, so they're like, yeah, we're gonna reverse Trump policies on immigration. Okay, so you want a tougher immigration policy? The whole immigration thing just drives me nuts.
Sure that families always belong together.
Senator Harris.
Families always belong. Why are we worried about citizens of the world?
I will say, no, absolutely not. They should not be deported. And I actually, this was one of the very few issues with which I disagreed with the administration, with whom I otherwise had a great relationship and a great deal of respect. But on the secure communities issue, I was Attorney General of California. I led the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice, in a state of 40 million people. And on this issue, I disagreed with my president, because the policy was to allow deportation of people who, by ICE's own definition, were non-criminals. So as Attorney General and the Chief Law Officer of the state of California, I issued a directive to the sheriffs of my state that they did not have to comply with detainers, and instead should make decisions based on the best interest of public safety of their community. Because what I saw, and I was tracking it every day, I was tracking it and saw that parents, people who had not committed a crime, even by ICE's own definition, were being deported. But I have to add a point here. The problem with this kind of policy, and I know it as a prosecutor, I want a rape victim to be able to run in the middle of the street and wave down a police officer and report the crime against her. I want anybody who has been the victim of any real crime to be able to do that and not be afraid that if they do that, they will be deported, because the abuser will tell them it is they who is the criminal. It is wrong. It is wrong.
We're going to return to the issue of trade now, if we can. Last night, we asked the candidates on this stage to name the greatest geopolitical threat facing the U.S. 4 of them mentioned China. U.S. businesses say China steals our intellectual property, and party leaders on both sides accuse China of manipulating their currency to keep the cost of goods artificially low. I'll ask this to Senator Bennett to start off with. How would you stand up to China?
I think that, first of all, the biggest threat to our national security right now is Russia, not China. And second, on China, we've
Guys,
got competition.
are you bored? I'm bored. Are you guys bored? I don't feel like watching this anymore. I want to go to bed. I just feel like I've been watching that, like, we literally went through this whole thing in 2016, and I'm just like, I just want to skip towards the end when it's just down to like Pete Buttigieg and Andrew Yang's Wang. I just wanted to get to the end, and Kamala Harris, and Kamala's probably gonna win, right? Kamala's gonna win. I just feel like she seems like the most. Elizabeth Warren's actually also doing pretty well. People are asking if I went to UCLA. Yes, I did go to UCLA. ACLU. I'm kidding. I went to UCLA, and I got this t-shirt, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. And, yeah, so there we go. I put it away, and now they're having this random dude, Bennett from Colorado, is talking. I don't really care about what he has to say. Oh, Andrew Wang, 1 second. Before we go, it's Andrew Yang.
Because they've been hacking our democracy successfully, and they've been laughing their asses
Talking
off
about
for the last couple of years. So we should focus on that before we start worrying about other threats. Now, China, they do pirate our intellectual property. It's a massive problem. But the tariffs and the trade war are just punishing businesses and producers and workers on both sides. I met with a farmer in Iowa who said he spent 6 years building up a buying relationship in China that's now disappeared and gone forever. And the beneficiaries have not been American workers or people in China. It's been Southeast Asia and other producers that have then stepped into the void. So we need to crack down on Chinese malfeasance in the trade relationship, but the tariffs and the trade war are the wrong way to go.
All right, Mayor Buttigieg, how would you stand up against China?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we've got to recognize that the China challenge really is a serious one. This is not something to dismiss or wave away. And if you look at what China is doing, they're using technology for the perfection of dictatorship. But their fundamental economic model isn't going to change because of some tariffs. I live in the industrial Midwest. Folks who aren't in the shadow of a factory are somewhere near a soy field where I live. And manufacturers, and especially soy farmers, are hurting. Tariffs are taxes. And Americans are going to pay on average $800 more a year because of these tariffs. Meanwhile, China is investing.
Guys, I'm really bored, and I don't feel like watching this anymore. I don't feel like watching these debates. I just turned it on to watch Andrew Yang and Pete Buttigieg go at it because I feel like they're both actually doing pretty well. Pete Buttigieg, like, damn, like, he's pretty good. He's really good. Like, I honestly... it was a little more interesting before because they were fighting and whatever, but Pete Buttigieg is pretty good. I can see him, like, you know, being one of the finals. And Andrew Wang is probably not going to win, but he could also do pretty well. I don't know. I feel like I really get his appeal a lot. And he's cool. So. And he's got a whole bunch of people on the younger voters on his side. So maybe, like, by the time it's 2020, all, like, the kids will have turned, like, voting age, and they'll be able to vote for him. Woo! So now it's commercial time. Yeah, we should like watch something else. I really want to do so you know how they do like live streams like, you get to basically watch stuff at the same time. Like I could be watching this with you, but at the same time I'm also like playing a game or playing a movie or something like that. It's like I want to be able to do that with this, but I still haven't figured out how to do that. That would be pretty cool if I could watch stuff with you guys. So I'm gonna go because I'm so tired. I'm not gonna go eat cake, but I'm probably just gonna go to bed. Maybe watch like a little episode from a TV show or something. And I don't watch football, but maybe I should try and get on it. So people are saying I should get on Twitch. I'm having a problem with my Twitch account right now, but I do want to. And like, I don't play games though. I don't you know, like I could try and start playing video games, and it looks like a lot of fun, but I just have never done it. So, and I don't know sports, I don't know games, I don't know any of it. What would I play on Twitch? I guess I'd play like those you know, those go-karts, like racing. I just like race. Should do a Fortnite stream. I don't even know how to play Fortnite. Yeah, I don't know how to play Fortnite. Pac-Man. Oh, I'm so good at Pac-Man. Maybe I should play Pac-Man. Oh, that's a great idea. I should become a Twitch thought. Guys, you guys should all check out my Instagram. My Instagram stories lately have been top notch, and every night I've been posting like little videos of myself like doing shit, and they're so funny. They're like these little TikTok videos. And eventually I'm going to take all these videos and I'm going to make them into like one YouTube video, but they're so funny. Like, definitely go on Instagram and check out my Instagram stories. They're really funny. But I'm a TikTok thought. And actually there's one that I did. The one from tonight is really funny. It's not safe for work, so don't play it in front of your kids. But it's pretty funny. So maybe some Tetris, maybe some Pac-Man, maybe some I don't know. Farty says, first of all, could I just say that the fact that your name is Farty is really great. It's really great to have a name like Farty. My classmates used to call me Farty when I was in kindergarten, but they did it as like an insult. But I think power to you. So Farty says that that I should only be friends with him and Alex because I have too many friends. See, here's the thing about having too many friends. Are they really all your friends? Like, are you really close with like 1 million people? You know what I mean? Like, having so many friends, it's just a strain on my life, and I don't feel like I consider every single person my friend. It's called having 1 million acquaintances, and thinking that they're all your friends, so you have to like maintain them on the same level as a friend, but they're not. Nate Murdoch says a friend to all is a friend to none. Exactly. You need a few people that are your close friends, and that's it. There are a few people that I will trust. There are a few people that I will trust. Recently, there are a few people that like I will trust with a lot of things. You know, my friend Cassandra, for example. You guys know Cassandra Fairbanks. She's on Twitter, and she actually was gonna come here for the live stream. She's gonna come, and we were gonna talk about Julian Assange. She was gonna talk about him on a personal level, but she stayed home and instead to watch this stupid debate. She stayed home to watch that. But we were going to talk about that. So Cassandra is one person that, even if I don't see her all the time, she's someone that I trust very much. And everything she says is true. Like, everything Cassandra Fairbanks says is the right thing. And she has a real high sense of intuition when it comes to people. Sometimes you can't always tell when it's for yourself because your mind is clouded with whatever biases there are. But when it comes to other people, Cassandra has a really good sense of intuition. She's very intuitive, and she can tell whether someone is trustworthy or not. She can tell right away when she meets someone, like, what kind of person is this? And so she's someone that I always go to whenever I want to, like, evaluate someone, especially men. Like, anytime I meet a guy or, like, I'm hanging out with a guy, I always bring him to meet Cassandra, or, like, in some way make sure Cassandra is there, because she knows right away. She'll be like, yep, I don't like him, I like him, you know what I mean? And everything she says, like, I always, if I don't believe it in the moment, I always find out later on that it's true. And so, like, she's always right when it comes to these things. She's very intuitive, and you know, so it's really good to have friends like that you, like, are they adding something of value to your life? If they're not, then whatever, you know. Having friends that you can trust, that you can ask advice from, that you can, you know, having a friend doesn't mean you hang out all the time, or you talk on the phone with them every other day to chat just so that you could have a connection, or you go to parties just so you can, like, wear matching clothes. That's not called having a friend. Or that you're always inviting each other out. Having a friend means that when it comes down to it, you can trust them. They will be on your side. You can ask them for advice. You can go to them with your problems, and they'll have your back. That's what having a friend is. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. Definitely check out my Instagram, because that's basically what I've been doing every night now. I've been a little stressed out lately, so, like, my Instagram is kind of like, I've been doing these TikTok videos, and they're so much fun. And so definitely go and check them out, enjoy them, and like these videos, even though this one is I'm probably going to delete it at some point. But like it anyway, and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed, and hit the hearts on Periscope, and see you all tomorrow night, regular time. And okay, Nate, I will not delete it because of you. And Fardy, we are already friends. Fardy and Party are friends. We would make really cool friends, Fardy and Party. Okay, so see you all tomorrow night, and enjoy finishing watching the debates without me.